Welcome to the Reticle Up podcast, where I, Three Gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. Hey everyone, on this week's episode, I've got Bryce and Blayne Dupuy. They are USPSA competitive shooters, and they're also brothers. So what's the competition like between you two?
It is an endless competition, actually. We're always competing against each other, like trying, say, I'm shooting production, he's shooting carry optics most of the time, right? I'm always trying to beat his time so his carry optics gun, so.
That happens.
A lot of fun.
I love it. I love it. So when did you guys first learn about action shooting sports?
So we actually used to shoot CMP, sporter rifle. Ooh. And through that, there was like some time aspect in there. And then we heard about this thing called American Marksman through Outdoor Channel. We went and qualified for that. We both made it to regionals, and I ended up winning high junior and made it to nationals. And at nationals, they had some like USPSA style stuff in there. So we were like, hey, let's try this, see how this goes. And we were hooked from there.
So cool. That's so cool. So tell me a little bit about CMP for people listening who may be new to the shooting sports. What is that, and how big is that campus?
It's a rimfire sporter. They have CMP in Talladega, and we went to a nationals in Camp Perry, Ohio, and that was definitely a different event. They have the type of shooting we did was 3 positions. They had standing was at 25 yards, and kneeling and prone were at 50 yards. And they had the time aspect of where you would shoot 5 rounds, no time limit, and then 5 rounds in 25 seconds. And you would do that on each standing, kneeling, and prone. We were hooked on the time aspect. That was very fun.
So you both went together?
We did.
Okay, so y'all started out from the very beginning. What was it like to be, you were actually on TV?
Yes, it was.
Legit. What was that experience like, and who else was there? I don't know anything about that actually, so this is news to me.
So American Marksman was an amateurs only TV show. So you go, you compete, and you couldn't be anything above A class in any other shooting
discipline.
Steel Challenge or anything like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like you couldn't be top 10 in any single match.
Oh, wow.
Just
an amateur shooter.
Or top 10%, I mean.
Yeah.
It was all amateurs. It was a very fun event whenever we went to it.
The guy who actually eliminated me from it, I was 20th. He won.
Oh my gosh. How crazy is that?
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand how cool that is for people listening. Dude, that's awesome. Were you guys nervous?
I was very nervous. I'd never been on TV before, so I was like, oh wow, cameras.
I think we were 13 and 14 at the time, or no, 12 and 13.
12 and 13.
Oh my goodness. And how old are you now?
I am 18.
I'm 17.
That's right, because you just won junior at the last competition you're at.
Yeah.
And so you're done with your junior year. For people listening to that don't really shoot, there's this beautiful time when you're under 18-year-olds can go shoot junior and win awesome things. And then when you graduate, you're just like the rest of us.
That's about right. It's about right. Yep. Full price match fees. Yeah, it's about it when you grow up.
That's awesome. Were you sad to lose on out on your junior year, or what was that like, finishing that up? I kind of want to hear about that from both of y'all's perspective of moving on up.
Nationals, when we shoot nationals and stuff with juniors, there's not as many juniors in the shooting industry as we would like. So there's a few more top level shooters now. The past few years though, the competition wasn't as high, so we're always trying to compete against the top guys. We were always sitting there, once we turned master level, we were like, we need to go against the top guys.
Yeah.
So it was pretty interesting at first, but it's a little bit different now than it has been in years past.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. Huh. So it was we'd always been competing against the top guys or wanting to compete against the top guys. It wasn't like, oh, we went on to junior, so what do we do now? So we're like,
we need to continue on with
we just continued on with what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys are similar in like Justine Jaleesa's setup where you don't compete in the same division, but you still compete in the match again. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to call me ma'am. Oh my gosh, don't make me feel old.
That's how we were raised.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, you're hooked from there. What was the following like competition that you went to, or what was like the first gun division that you went and shot in like USPSA?
We both actually shot production. Yes, we shot
Oh.
production.
Yeah, for the first year and a half, we both shot production, and I decided, I was like, carry optics was it was still pretty new at the time, so I was like, no, this looks pretty fun. I'm gonna try that out. And it's like poor man's open basically, but it's definitely blown up USPSA right now.
I love it just because of the equal playing field. Like when you shoot production or you shoot carry optics, there's not major or minor. I don't load ammo, so I'm always shooting minor.
Right.
Not a good time. Oh my goodness. So tell me each about like how did your first match experience go looking back?
So our first match experience was it wasn't really anything special. Like we were shooting a lot of alphas. We didn't understand the time aspect. We're just like, oh, let's shoot the points and see how this goes, kind of thing. We didn't understand scoring in USPSA because like in CMP and we had shot 4H as well.
Yeah.
The points is just like shoot the centers of the targets and you get more points.
Mm-hmm.
This you shoot relevantly good points and then the time needs to be very, very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't really, we weren't really scared or anything, to be honest.
Yeah, but looking back,
we were just like, we love this. We saw how interesting it was. We were like, man, this looks like so much fun. It's like Call of Duty, but in real life. It's like Rainbow Six Siege in real life. I posted a video on TikTok, and that's all the comments I got. All these kids playing Rainbow Six Siege IRL.
that was awesome. I remember playing video games like growing up and be like, oh, we actually have to like reload ammo. Like that's a thing. And they make it look so easy. And I'm like, that's not how reloads go.
That's not how it goes. Well,
no,
not at all.
Oh man, looking back though, like your times and stuff, is it painful to watch now or to think
it
about
is
those?
painful.
It's horrible. It's like a knife to the chest. It's like, oh, I was really this bad.
It's like, okay, it's like you look at the new shooters, it's like, it's okay. I was there.
Yeah.
I feel that on an emotional level. It's like, it's okay.
it's bad. I mean, okay, and then you guys came up quick on like, moving up in classifications. Did you take a class? Did you have someone like take you under your wing? Like, how did you actually get better?
So we actually, I think it was our second year. Second year, we took a class from Ben Steger.
Cool.
And
all this training information.
Instantly after the Ben Steger class, I think it was maybe a month, I ended up making Masterclass. So
what? Okay, there is a level of like no fear that juniors have. Like I truly do believe this because you can outrun anyone. You've never been afraid of anything in your life, and so you just full send. Where adults are like, oh, we can't do that.
It's true. You feel like you can stretch your legs a lot more. You just have a little bit of confidence, like, oh, everybody's a lot older than you. You can get to this position faster than like everybody else. Plus, like getting in low positions, you're like not worried about your knees. You just go down and
so awful. I have knee pads. Yeah.
I mean, I wear a knee brace, so
he does wear a knee brace, but
yeah.
But in my position, I don't have to worry about that stuff. I just go.
Yeah. So okay, for advancing up to Masterclass, was it you practicing like classifiers after classifiers, or did you like move up from matches? Like, how did you make that?
So we never really practiced classifiers. We just like understood what sort of skills were needed in the classifiers and trained those specific skills in different types of drills. And just upping those skills made it a whole lot easier to shoot classifiers. Right.
Just using our natural ability at that point. Once we built our skills up, we just used that ability. We didn't worry about what the stage is going to be. We were just like, use these sets of skills well.
Huh. And most people they sit there and they practice classifiers at their home range. Huh. That's cool. I didn't know that. So what are some things that you learned early on, maybe even or taking the class, that other people should know before going to their first match?
A big thing would be like, don't worry about your classification. Like, just understand that you have to go through a process to get better. It's not like a thing that you can take a magic pill and you'll be good overnight. You have to put in the work. You have to learn how to understand scoring and everything like that. It's not something that's going to be like, oh, I can watch a video on YouTube and the next day, all right, let's go.
You're going to get your feelings hurt a lot.
Just
accept that.
Oh yeah, ego checked. Yeah, like when I went to World Speed Shoot, I was like, I am not in my element.
I feel that.
Awful. Awful. And then you get confidence along the way for sure. Like,
but just enjoy it. Like, just enjoy the sport. It's fun.
Do you still enjoy it?
Yeah, it's still so fun for us. If it wasn't fun for us, we wouldn't do it anymore.
We probably enjoy it more now than we ever have, and we've always loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. I feel like a lot of people and me getting our heads too much about it, right? We care too much. We're like, just have fun. And then you do better when you have fun.
Exactly. Usually enjoy it. Don't put so much stress on your shoulders.
Yeah. Interesting. Look at these wise young men. So what goals have each of you set for yourself that you achieved in shooting so far?
I have achieved winning a level 2 match and placing top 20 at nationals. That was my biggest goals, and I achieved that. Actually, at this last nationals.
That was the production low cap, you mean?
Low cap, yes.
Low cap. Cool.
Well, last year, my two biggest goals were to win a level 2 match and then to make super squad for the next nationals, and I ended up making super squad. So that was a pretty fun experience.
Heck yeah. So for, again, people listening, they might not have ever heard of super squad. What is super squad and how do you make it on there?
So the super squad is the top 12 people in the division. So whoever placed top 12 in the division the past year, they all are on one squad called the super squad, and it kind of just keeps the pace up. You don't have to worry about, oh, what's happening over here on Billy Joe's squad. Like, it's all right there in front of you. You get to understand how the scoring aspect, like how the scores are being laid out right in front of you.
It's like the Super Bowl for
our sport.
It's our Super Bowl basically. Whenever you're watching those guys, it's like, one of these 12 guys are going to win the match.
Yeah. So are you shooting in that this coming year then?
I was actually on the production super squad this year, but I didn't make it this for next year.
Yeah.
I was two places off. We'll see if some of the guys don't show up. I was 2 places off. I was right on it. I was so close.
Oh man, so you guys got to be on it together too one year.
That's coming. It's coming.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh, that was a hard match. I hate low cap with a passion. So with a burning passion.
I shot carry optics before, and whenever I was shooting carry optics, I didn't hit a plateau. I was just kind of leveled off. I was having small improvements, but it wasn't anything like crazy. I shot production 2 years ago at it was in Frostproof, Florida, and I placed like 50th or something. And this last low cap nationals, I got 14th. I was like, all right, that's a huge jump. Yeah. Whenever I shot production, I just found confidence whenever I was shooting that gun. I just felt so much better. Yeah. I don't know what the difference was. It was just like everything was improvement. Like I was improving every time I shot the gun. So I felt pretty good about it.
That's awesome. What is it like to shooting on super squad, like watching the other pros shoot, maybe even people that you don't really get to squad with across the country all in one spot on one squad? What is that like?
So it was actually a lot of fun. There's a lot of just like joking around, having a lot of fun on the super squad. Like, and then like on the last day, you get to watch everyone just push until they just fall apart.
Yeah.
It's
or hero or zero.
Yeah.
Some people.
A lot of it goes hero or zero. But the biggest thing that I learned on the super squad is don't try to impress them. Like with a single stage run, the thing that's going to impress them is shooting a consistent match. If you shoot a consistent match, then they're going to be impressed with that.
Yep, 100%.
Well, they're going to find you at the top of the rankings, basically. That's what happens. If you're staying pretty consistent, that's what I did. My first few stages, I still wasn't used to iron sights because when I first switched over to production, I only had I practiced for 2 months, and then I took a month off, and then I had 2 weeks before nationals to practice it again. And I lost everything. Not everything. I just kind of lost the aiming aspect. Having to line up your front sight, your rear sight was
that front sight thing is important. Like,
it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I like technology nowadays. Dot's nice. But I was dropping crazy points on like my first stage. But once I started leveling off, like on the bigger stages, I made up a lot of points.
That's awesome. Okay. And then I wanted you to talk about that consistency in a match, because I saw this weekend at Two Gun Nationals where I was trying to explain to somebody, like their gun didn't work on a stage, right? And they didn't zero it, but it was really painful. And I was like, this stage does not matter like you might think it was, but an 11 stage match, sure enough, like she came back and beat people still. I'm like, I'm telling you what, everyone's going to have 1 or 2 bad stages, but overall, you need a consistent one. You don't need, stage wins for every single stage to win a match.
No, there was actually one time where Eric Raffel won a USPSA Nationals without a single stage win.
So cool.
That's so crazy. Cool. Yeah. You don't have to win every single stage. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it's the top 85. If you stay within the top 85% in every single stage, you will most likely win.
Huh. That seems pretty low, like if you think about it, right?
But people are constantly up and down. It's 80 or 90%, something like that, 85 or 90%. But people are very up and down. Like, you'd be surprised.
It's all about how high or how low your decline is.
Yes. How low are your lows is usually what happens.
We won't even talk about mine this past weekend, but moving on. What are y'all's next goals then that you're looking to accomplish now?
My goals right now are to win an area match in whatever division I'm shooting and place top 5 in a national competition.
Ooh, okay.
Mine's similar. It's to win an area match or make super squad at Carry Optics Nationals. That would be a big goal for mine.
Cool. So do you guys keep these like in a journal or front and center or just in your head?
It's just in the back of our mind. In the back of our mind. It's like, yeah, I want to do this.
Awesome. Your parents, you probably owe a lot to. I've met them. They are wonderful people. Like, oh my God. So I got to ask, because I don't have that aspect. What is it like, shooting with your brother, traveling with your parents, and having your entire family like with your passion, every weekend?
It's actually really nice to have the support like all the time. We always have our parents like trying to keep us motivated and keep us positive. Like, if we get down, they're just like, okay, go practice. You're good. It's all fine. And then with Blayne, like having Blayne around me all the time when I'm practicing, it's like constant built-in competition, always pushing me.
Plus we can coach each other and bounce off of each other.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge. Oh my goodness. So when you guys were on TV or going through that process, what did your parents think? What did they say?
They were actually a lot more nervous than I was.
They're like, don't say anything. Just talk through the motions. Just don't worry about anything.
Just answer the questions as they're asked.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I mean, and then what do they think now when you guys just went like completely like gun ho, like you're going for it now? You're Masterclass, you're making super squad. Like, what are they thinking right now?
I don't know. I know that they're proud of us, but like, there isn't really anything specific that they would say.
They just say, do your best and give God the glory. That's their saying. They just say, do your best.
I love that. Love your mom most too. Oh my gosh, favorite woman. So I gotta ask, what's been the most fun road trip together, and what kind of road trip shenanigans have gone down?
Our last area match, which was Area 6, it was in April. My girlfriend from Washington came down, Rachel Harper. She's a very, very good lady shooter. She's gonna do very well at this next nationals. She flew down to Mississippi, and we drove 10 hours to shoot Area 6 and drove 10 hours back. So that was an interesting trip. Me, my brother, mom and dad and her, we were all packed in the car when we went, and it was a fun match. It was very fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Fun. 10 hours. Ugh.
That was Yeah, it was that
with 5 people. Like I've driven 10 hours, but with 5, I couldn't do it. You're all on different bathroom schedules. You don't want to grind it on food.
True. We all want different food. Sometimes it's like, oh, where do we eat? Oh, what do we do?
Yeah. Are there any weird, I have to ask this because I eat pickles a lot. Are there any weird snacks that you guys eat?
Ooh, I don't know. Doritos and ketchup, nacho Doritos and ketchup. It's actually
you'd be surprised.
It's actually good.
You'd be surprised. Or like Club multigrain crackers
Mm-hmm.
in milk.
No.
You'd be really surprised. It's delicious.
Pretty good.
It's delicious.
It's like eating cereal. Do you like cereal?
No.
Like cereal,
Well, yes, but like no.
no.
When you're an adult, you don't eat as much cereal. Maybe not. Maybe I don't. Oh man. So do you guys keep up with your nutrition though too as like part of your training regimen or no?
To be honest, it's just like
it's up and down.
Yeah, it's up and down. It's whatever we're feeling.
When holidays come, it's like, oh yeah, we still try and eat kind of healthy. Like make sure we get fruits and veggies. Our dad's got a garden,
cool.
so he's always got squash, zucchini, corn, green beans and stuff. All that stuff's fresh. So we're always getting healthy stuff. Plus we butcher our own ground beef, so we got all natural stuff. So we don't have it. We're eating healthy food.
So when you said 4-H, like you grew the animals, is that right? Is that program?
No, we did. We did the shooting.
4-H was actually we did shooting in 4-H for a little bit.
Okay.
We thought about doing that, the farming stuff, but it was with our shooting stuff, we couldn't keep up with both.
No, there's no time. That's interesting though. Yeah, and 17, 18-year-olds old, it's easy for you guys to eat crap and still shoot. So you don't have that problem.
That's fair.
So fair. How do you guys do what?
Where's my Swiss roll?
Yeah, for real. God. Let me know, 10 years down the road, how you're feeling. So how do you guys balance school? I think that's a big thing. And like family time, social events. And you said you don't have time for all these things. So shooting's the thing, but how do you still have time for even the girlfriend, like stuff like that?
So we're actually both finished with school now. Okay. And we were homeschooled, right? Mm-hmm. We would get up in the mornings at like 8 o'clock, work till about lunch, and we'd be done with schoolwork for the day. And depending on the weather, we would go and load and go practice right after, or go practice and then load. It just depends on how hot it was, or if it was raining or not.
So if we were going to go to like a major match or something, we knew we were going to be gone for a couple days, we would always just do multiple days of work in one. We would sit at the table. It'd take a little while, but we'd have to do multiple days. It got a little annoying sometimes, but it was like, you have to do it. If you want to shoot, you got to do your schoolwork.
Yes. Good parenting.
Yes. Yes, miss.
Oh God, not the ma'am again. Oh my goodness. So, so done with school. Actually, I haven't asked y'all this. Are you planning on doing trade school or college or pursuing shooting, or what are you going for?
So what we're actually doing is we're apprenticing at a machine shop that's only like 3.9 miles from our house. So
the company is Ball Machine.
Okay, cool. Oh my gosh.
He's taught us a lot, him and his dad.
Yeah. Are you making like custom pistols? Are you doing barrels, like threading stuff? What is that?
So we're trying to get him into the firearms industry.
Yeah.
He does a little bit of everything.
But he does a little bit of everything. So
okay. He's got robots and stuff like that too. It's a pretty cool place, pretty cool shop. It's in the middle of nowhere, basically, in the middle of a cow field, and he's got some really nice like robots and really nice machines out there.
That's so cool. Do you guys own your own range too, or you have a range in Mississippi?
We have a bay on our property. So we have 67 acres, and we have I think it's like a 45-yard bay.
Wow.
You can stand back and shoot like 80 yards or something if you stand back far enough, but we don't have that.
Yeah. But the videos I see on Instagram are on your property.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm so jealous. So your life's hard. So you wake up, you go to your backyard, you shoot some, you got a machine shop. That's so cool.
Yes.
I've digressed. All right. So let's go into match mode a little bit. Because I've seen you guys at every match pretty much in the last, couple months. Do y'all have any pre-match like rituals together or separately that you do before, shooting?
So the main pre-match ritual that we do is every night before the match, we go and have a really high protein meal.
Okay.
That way, if like we get a little sore from walking through or whatever, the protein will heal our muscles faster and stuff,
and helps you sleep better that night.
But another thing we don't do like ritualistically, on the way to the match, we are constantly praying, and like when we're making ready, constantly just like, God, please help us just stay calm.
Yeah.
Just keep us level-minded. Don't let us be stupid.
Go full send. Do you guys do y'all load magazines? I was gonna say, do y'all like load magazines? Do you clean your gun? Do you like, do anything else?
All that's done like a week prior.
We load our mags usually the day of. It's just kind of helps us get in our heads, like we're in match modes.
Yeah.
Once you get there, you're like, okay, we gotta do everything we gotta do before shooting.
Right. Okay. So like you said, protein meal definitely after a walkthrough day. What does walkthrough day look like to both of y'all?
So walkthrough day, we get to the range and we go through each stage. I mean, there isn't really like a super detailed thing that we do on walkthrough day. We just we figure out all the options to the stages, and then the day of the match we decide which option is best opted for where we're sitting in the match.
We try and keep an open mind on walkthrough day for sure.
Okay. Do y'all typically run the same like stage plan, or do you play a different strategy?
Most of the time, yes. I mean, we both have similar sets of skills. Every once in a while, we'll do something different because we're like, I don't know what this activator is going to do, so I'll switch it up. But you see what you'll do. At locals, we definitely do that. At major matches, when we'll shoot the same division, we do the same stage plans.
Okay.
It's always the same.
So when you guys get there, say maybe it's like a 2-day or 3-day match in like nationals, are you walking every single stage, or are you just doing the ones that you're shooting the next day, or how does that work?
On the first day, we walk through every single stage. So like the day before nationals, we went and walked through every single stage.
Just find the targets basically is what we're trying to do.
Since we shoot PM, AM, PM for most, like every single nationals we shoot,
Smart.
We go the morning of and walk through the stages like 2 hours before.
Okay.
And walk through the stages that we're going to shoot for that day. And then once we're done shooting there, we go over to the day 2 and walk through those stages that we're going to shoot for day 2.
Yeah, because it's so much to keep in your mind. Like I do the same thing where I walk through everything, but then especially with multi-gun, if I walk a bajillion stages, I'm like, wait, what?
It scrambles your mind for sure. Like you're sitting there like about to get up and you're like, wait, what was that stage again? What's my first stage look like?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, that wasn't it.
Yeah. Do you write notes on your phone or anything like that, or just all up in here?
I've written a few notes on my phone about like activators and stuff just to remember that. But nothing else other than that, really.
Me personally, no. I just try to keep it as simple as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
That way I'm not like overloading my mind with nonsense.
Yeah.
Just like put the sights in the center of the targets and go.
That's simple.
No. Well, what we try and do is when we're walking our stages and we're doing that stuff, we try and when we're smart Blayne or smart Bryce before the timer goes off, we'll try and walk through it and dumb it down so dumb Blayne after the timer goes off can actually execute the stage plan.
I love it. Oh man. Okay. But when you're walking a stage, you're looking for, and you tell me because I probably am wrong, you're looking for like reload spots, entries, exits, like what all is going through your head there?
So yeah, like where's the best place to stick a reload, or is this partial target super high risk partial target? Like where are some places on a stage where I can drive up the hit factor in this one general area instead of like trying to drive up the hit factor all over the stage, take their arrays and drive up the hit factor themselves.
Interesting. Walk me through that. You just mean like shooting alphas as fast as possible in that area, or what do you mean that zone?
So if the array is like 4 open targets per se, use that array. It's a super high hit factor array because it's open targets and you can shoot them pretty fast.
Right.
Just understand which ones are high risk, like low hit factor arrays, and which ones are high hit factor arrays. If it's a high hit factor arrays, you can drop a little more points and still get a better result. If it's a low hit factor array, then you can kind of slow it down just a little bit and shoot the points.
Or if it's a stage where, say it's a 16 round stage, or 16 target stage, you have 32 rounds. You can drop five Charlies and still get like 93% of points or something like that. So if it has, say, 12 targets are up close and 4 of them say 20 yards, 25 yards, you can drop the Charlies in the back and try and keep all your A's up front.
Yep, because most people are going to have deltas or mics or whatever.
As long as you're laying 2 on paper, usually in the back, you're pretty good, but try and keep A's up close.
Yeah. Fascinating. Okay, so you've got the smart Bryce or smart Blayne ready to go. What's going through your head at the make ready command?
For me, the make ready command is like, all right, I load my gun, stick it back in my holster, I walk through, make sure everything's right, and then I say a prayer before I shoot. And then as soon as I'm done with the prayer, I put my hand down, I'll let her eat.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
Neat. Okay. Interesting.
Just try and make sure you're confident about the race. Usually, like if there's an activator though, I'll kind of walk through that one a few more times, like in my head, make sure I really see it. I'm imagining the spots on the targets where I want my eyes to look.
Yeah. Okay. How do you work through then, like Kenzie, at low cap nationals, when you keep missing steel and you only have 10 or 11 rounds, and then you know you're going to run out and then you forget where all your loot reloads? Is that stage is kind of like, done with, or what's going through your head to correct that?
So are you talking about correcting it during the stage or once the stage is over?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So correcting it during the stage, the biggest thing is trying to understand why you're missing. So like, are your sights a little too high? Are they off to the sides? Are you snatching the trigger, pushing them off to the sides? Once you understand that, like you just make that mental focus in your head to not do what you're doing. Like
don't spray and pray, basically. Don't spray.
Take aim on the shot, check your alignment, pull the trigger. Tell yourself to calm down. Aim on the target, check your alignment, pull the trigger.
That's one thing I had to look out for, because whenever I shot, I think it was 2018, 2019 nationals in production. Whenever I shot that, I did not understand shooting steel with iron sights at all, like whatsoever. So I had some stupid makeups. I was like, come on, just settle down. Settle down with what you're doing. Just actually aim, pull the trigger straight, get the gun properly, and it should hit the target. But I just wanted to spray because I was coming off of the carry optics gun. I was like, oh, where the dot is, you can shoot. Whenever the front sight there at like a 30-yard piece of steel and like the rear sight's not aligned, it does not.
Yeah.
Unless you're lucky. Unless you're really lucky.
Yeah. So, okay, you're correcting that. But then say like that messed up like all the reload numbers, right? So now you're having like standing reload, and then you just
go back to our plan.
We go back to the original plan that we had. So like if I had a standing reload on steel, I reloaded, do the steel, and then I was supposed to reload leaving that position, I'd go ahead and do another reload as that position.
Okay. This is helping me more than whoever's probably going to listen.
That way you're not thinking throughout the stage, like, do I have enough rounds for this?
Yeah.
You just revert back to your original plan. You're like, okay, my original plan has enough rounds for each one of these arrays.
Right.
You do that.
Okay. I like it. So I do see a lot of your drills and videos, like I said earlier, on Instagram. So what have been the best drills to improve your shooting in live fire sessions? Like, what are those drills to make Masterclass?
For me personally, the doubles drill, I don't know who came up with it, but it's 8 rounds and you shoot 4 sets of doubles, and it really helped improve my my doubles. I mean, at like 7 yards, you really improve your grip, making sure you're gripping the gun properly, not snatching the gun off. It's a very beneficial drill. That one, and probably I would say accelerator. The distance change up really helps you like make sure your sights are doing what you want them to do.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with doubles drill?
Yeah, I've read a little bit of a couple of Ben Stoker's books for sure. I've taken a class with Jill Turner. I've got Travis Tomasi coming out, so I do the best I can. But some people actually, if you want to go ahead and explain it listening, probably don't know what you're talking about, like accelerate.
So doubles drill, it's an 8-round drill, and every time that you present your gun, you shoot 2 shots per basically presentation. You go pop up.
It's 5 to 7 yards.
Pop up. Pop up.
It's as fast as you can pull the trigger, and 4 sets of doubles.
Right. Which is like a bill drill, but not. It's the same thing.
A bill drill kind of forces you to make some bad habits at some point, because you're constantly leaning into the gun while you're shooting, and doubles, you're reassessing every single time you're going pop up, then reassess your sights, pop up,
right?
Reassess your sights, pop up.
It builds good habits.
Because in USPSA, when do you shoot 6 rounds on one?
Yeah, never. Well, I'm stupid classifiers, but yeah. Stupid classifiers. Well, and then like the other thing you said was like acceleration, and well, I know that's different, but a deceleration. Where I'm getting at is like I try in my like stage walkthroughs to do the pop up, and then literally as I'm dry firing, like pop pop, trying to get in my head that I need to go slower on that farther target. But it doesn't always shake out.
Your sights is what like a couple wise shooters would say. It's just,
shoot how fast you can read your sights. That's about it. When it
comes to the hard, difficult shots, do that.
How bad was it? Maybe like watching or squatting with better shooters and trying to go as fast as them.
To be honest, it wasn't really a difficult thing for me. Like, the biggest thing for me is changing focus. So don't necessarily, I'm fast generally. Don't necessarily focus on the speed aspect, focus on the accuracy aspect. So on day 1 and day 2 of nationals, I didn't really focus on the accuracy aspect, and it was hurting me real bad, like real bad. In day 3, I focused on accuracy, and I got like, I think 90% alphas or something like that. Nice. On day 3. Besides my last stage, I absolutely tanked. Yeah, that's what cost me super squad again.
Yeah. That's terrible. Okay, so you look at your scores each night, right?
I do, yes.
You do. That doesn't psych you out?
It does not, actually. So what we've learned to compete at the top, you have to understand how to adjust your strategy based on where you're sitting in the match.
It depends on your level of skill, though. Like if you're lower level, it doesn't really help. It only helps in the last day. Right. But like you get probably like the top 30, top 25 people, like those people need to be looking. I think they should be looking at scores.
So you come in like reserve trying to do accuracy. Then you see if you can pick up speed. And then if you're going too fast, then you go back to accuracy.
But we kind of know, usually when we're shooting the stage, we kind of know where we're at, because we know where our skill level is at. We know where we're going against these people. We know if I have a good state, if I have a good 5 stages the first day, or 6 stages, however many, we know we're going to be up there.
Awesome.
So sometimes we don't have to look, and we just we already know we're there. Like on the super squad, you see like what these guys are scoring. You can already see it on the pad. Like you know where you're at.
Yeah.
There's no hiding it.
Cool. Is there one person that you really want to beat?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's just because usually, like, take production nationals, for example. 2 years ago, it was Ben. Last year, it was Jacob Hetherington. And then this year, it was Nils. Like, it's always changing.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Perioptics is a little different. Like, Perioptics, Max is just dominating everything.
I know. I got to see him shoot on my stage this weekend, PCC, and then he comes up to me, "Is that a stage win?" I was like, "Yeah, I haven't seen the 3 the entire match."
Yeah,
that was really cool. That's awesome. What guns are you guys shooting, by the way? Are y'all shooting the Tanfolios? I don't know enough about.
We're shooting CZs, actually, CZ Shadow 2s.
Okay, so you'll have the same exact gun.
Yes, basically.
Huh? So 1 irons, 1 red dot.
We have actually, we have 5 CZs.
And I don't know how many sides. We have lots.
Grab that one right there.
We have one right here, actually, if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you all doing like oranges, blues, just the same gun?
This is a CZ Shadow 2. This was before Carry Optics was 59 ounces. So it's been milled by Cajun.
It's all Cajun parts in there.
It's got all Cajun parts in it. It's got a Trijicon SRO. And right now I've got lock grips on this one, lock palm swells. But Yeah, this is the one I'm going to be using probably for nationals.
Cool.
For Carry Optics Nationals this year. But
my guns are a little different. They don't have the slide cup on the top, and mine has a plate. We found that the ones with plates on them, usually it saves the optic a little longer.
Yeah,
because the plate takes the blow instead of the optic.
Knock on wood, I have not had a SRO fail. I've got a lot of ammo through.
I know. I love my trigger gun.
They're pretty awesome.
So did y'all lighten springs or change triggers or anything like that?
We lighten the spring, the hammer spring. The hammer spring is an 11.5, and the recoil spring is 11 pound.
Nice.
We've also got, if I'm not mistaken, they're 90% disconnect turn or whatever. And their Cajun race hammer.
Their race hammer is nice. It's pretty sweet.
It's shaped a little different. So
pretty sweet looking.
You see, it's a little pointed. It's got better serrations on the top.
So you can lower the.
Like,
you don't worry about
lower the hammer down. You don't have to worry about it slipping off you.
Yeah.
That's
the first shot on that one is double action, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Huh.
It is the I would say, in my opinion, the nicest production and carry optics gun on the market. Like I don't think you can get one nicer.
Like they're actually race guns.
They have not failed us really. We have not had them. We've had one problem, and that is a firing pin. No, not a front sight pin coming out of them in our barrel bushings coming out. But we fixed that problem. That's something
Are you guys
that
like gunsmiths as well then?
We do work. We do our own work on our guns. Yes.
The disconnectors and stuff like that, we kind of leave that to the professionals. We don't want to mess something up, but springs and stuff, we're not afraid to mess that.
That's really cool. That's awesome. That's something I need to get better at. I'm not afraid of rifles, but I'm for sure afraid of like pistols. Okay, so let's go back to like practicing. What about dry fire, which everyone loves so much? What do those sessions look like?
Want to answer that one?
For me, it's mainly just working on gun handling, making sure my guns like they have aiming properly, making sure I'm moving my eyes first, making sure I'm not moving swinging the gun around too much. Whenever I'm pulling the trigger, I'm making sure I'm not snatching the gun too much, like making sure the dot's stable when I'm pulling the trigger, and making sure like I see the different confirmations. I work on confirmation drills, unloaded starts.
What does all of that mean for people who don't know what? Yeah.
A confirmation drill. It's actually Honsig's thing. It's a live fire drill. I think he does it in dry fire too. But confirmation 1 is basically index shooting. It's you start low ready and you hear the timer at like a 5-yard target. You bring your gun up, and as soon as your gun levels off and you feel like you're ready to shoot, pull the trigger. Confirmation 2 is basically seeing the dot wave in the center of the target or where you want it, just like flash around there, nothing stable. And confirmation 3 is your like 25 to 40-yard targets, like making sure your dot's stable, like accuracy shooting.
Gotcha. Cool.
That's
and you guys have never, real quick, sorry, you guys have never done like flared mag wells or changed divisions really.
I shot limited for a little bit in 2019.
So it's been a minute, but your fundamentals all come from working with a stock-ish gun where there's not any accessories to really do you any favors. So you're hitting your reloads correctly.
Yes,
your base pads are not extended for production
The one thing, the CZs have the worst mag well. Like there's no mag well.
It's so tiny. It's like trying to reload. I mean, look at this. Compared to my thumb.
Yeah.
It's virtually a single stack gun.
It's bad, but once you get used to it, it keeps you honest. Like make sure you're doing all your fundamentals right. But whenever you hold like SIGs and Glocks, like those things, they reload. So
the mag well's like this big compared.
We shot I think 2018 we shot single stack, and it was at a Mississippi match. It was
Mississippi single stack.
It was Mississippi single stack championship. And I won high junior at that match, but that was completely different from now. Our knowledge of shooting was not
drastic.
Right? It's crazy how much we still have to learn too.
It's true. You're always learning.
I feel dumb every single time I learn something, but then I'm like remembering how much did I not know back then. I'm like, oh my God, it's a lot.
And reassessing what you've already learned too is very important, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Bryce, what are your dry fire drills?
So I'm always working on gun handling, like draws, reloads, and like making sure I'm looking to the centers of targets, making sure my vision is actually good, because vision is the most important thing when it comes to shooting. If you don't look at the right spots, you're not going to have good results.
Yeah.
You have to let your vision drive what you're doing.
That was the other thing I wanted to mention. Okay, Blayne, talk about how important, because a lot of people listening might be newer shooters, how important it is when you said moving your eyes rather than following the gun. Like, explain what that means.
So exactly. So for example, if you're looking at, whenever you're driving, you wouldn't look at the steering wheel whenever you're driving. You look at the road where you're wanting to go. So, that's the best example I could think of. But whenever you're shooting a dot, for instance, whenever you shoot a target, you want to look over the next target. You bring the gun over. A lot of people, they'll start looking back at the dot. Right. Well, you don't know where you're shooting on the target. You're looking basically back at the steering wheel, and you don't know where it's going. So making sure you're focused on where you want to look, where you want to shoot, and the dot's gonna superimpose itself onto the target, where you want it. It's gonna go where you want it.
Also, you want to make sure that you don't have too much tension in your body, like in your shoulders.
Yeah.
Take this for example. So when you're on a laptop or a computer, and you want to go over, click on something, you don't just take it and you go.
You don't slam it over there.
Slam it over there to click it. You just move the mouse over there and click it.
You look to where you want, bring it over,
and just bring the gun over. Look to where you want, the gun's gonna follow.
You guys know so much for 17, 18-year-olds old. This is amazing. So a dot forced me really to shoot with both eyes open. Like, I've always shot with both eyes open. However, I have tendency when it comes to irons and I start missing, I close one eye. Like, that's all I can do to save my match. But the dot, I've done the black electrical tape over the dot. I've turned the dot down really low. I've had the dot off just to try and see how it goes. What all have you done, Blayne, with a dot?
I've done the tape over the optic trick. It is very beneficial to teach you target focus.
Yeah.
Actually, not just with an optic. I did it with the production gun as well, and it was very beneficial. We
do target focus with iron sights.
You look where you want to hit, you bring the gun over, and the sights are going to align. If you're dry firing properly, the gun's going to do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
It's not going to lie to you.
I like it. I tell people when they start missing that you have to do 10 dry fire drills, if you're in practice, before you can pull the trigger on a live round again, because it normally corrects their flinch.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
We do, I think it's Mason Blayne's drill. It's where you take the gun and you start off here, with your finger outside of the trigger guard, and when the timer goes off, you pull the trigger. Yep. And then there's different positions, touching the inside of it, then just off the trigger, and then on the trigger. And for each and every one of those, you always start whenever the beep goes off. And usually that corrects people's inefficiencies.
It puts a time aspect in it. So your finger's on the trigger. You hear the beep, you pull the trigger fast. You want to pull the trigger as soon as you hear that beep.
Yeah.
And it causes that squeeze in your hand, and it teaches you how to isolate your finger from exactly.
I like it. And that was the other thing. People don't know to buy timers, right? To set par times and to read, Ben's books and all of that is to figure out what level you're at first before you start. Right. So how do you assess that? Where you're at?
The biggest thing is shooting matches. Shooting matches is how you're going to tell where you're at. Depending on, say you have a pretty decent Masterclass or GM around you. Base how you're shooting off of that, and then go shoot major matches and see how you're doing against the top guys.
Yeah, usually the top guys, you're gonna know where you're at. Look at where your skills are. You really don't get past the core skills. Like I was saying, doubles drill. You don't get past those drills. You just improve. Your times improve. Your groups improve. Everything. Your skills just build up and get better. You have to just start shooting shooting drills and shooting matches. You have to learn how to self-learn at a point.
Self-coach. Yeah. And then watching videos, you'll learn a lot about what you're doing wrong.
Yes, you will. Let's do exactly. Watch the pros and they'll tell you usually what you're doing wrong.
Oh yeah. Love taking classes. Are you guys okay when it comes to coaching? Because I'm different. Are you one that likes a soft-handed coach? Or are you one that puts it to you straight really quick and be quit.
I like to be told what I'm doing wrong very abruptly.
Like, just tell me what I'm doing wrong. I don't want
because I don't want someone to beat around the bush and be like, oh, you're doing this okay, but like this, just tell me I'm bad and tell me how to fix it.
Yeah, 100%. And it is important to find a coach that works with you too, because like, I mean, I'm taking class from all these different people to try and figure out who do I learn best from. And yeah, not all good shooters are good teachers too, if that makes sense.
That's true.
It's really hard. So like you explain things right now, it's actually really helpful for me. Some people be like, I don't understand it. So, so what would be some advice you would give people who want to get started in competing, any kind of competition?
I would say go and watch a couple matches. Like if you've heard about USPSA or something like that, go and watch a couple matches. Get familiar with the rules. Make sure you're being safe with it, and then go take a class immediately.
Like from a high level shooter for sure. Like if you're
try to find a really good instructor and take a class from them immediately. That way you're not building bad habits and then having to change them.
That's the mistakes. We made that mistake in our first year.
Well, it's not a mistake. It's more of like learning because you didn't know.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
No, no one told us how beneficial a class would be. And when we took one, we're like, oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't teach that level, but like even in my classes, I'm like, I actually love the new shooters. I would rather work with you because you don't have your finger on the trigger all the time and you're not going to do this.
And you're not arguing with me. You're listening every single time.
So humble yourself in competition, humble yourself in class.
Exactly.
I love it.
Never too high. You're never too good to learn.
Yes.
Something from somebody. You're never too good to learn.
That's actually why I'm doing this podcast, is I think there's something to learn from everyone. So
yeah, exactly.
What's something you wish that maybe all shooters knew? And this could be anything. Knew about the competition, knew about people, knew about ROs. I don't know.
I would say probably that's actually a difficult one.
Yeah.
Probably like we were saying, you're never too high to learn or to whenever you go into a match and some ROs make like weird calls, don't like be so stubborn with stuff. I wish people would be a little less stubborn, but I don't know, that's a really good question.
Think on it. You can let me know.
Keep an open mind.
Yes, keep an open mind. I like that one.
Don't just get fixated on one instructor's way of teaching.
Yeah.
Look around and see what other people are teaching and apply it to your own thing and build your own sort of training training regimen. Yeah.
What about like not being so down on yourself all the time when you walk away from like a major match? Like I shoot all the time, but I have huge wins that I try and pull from the stages rather than thinking about like how crappy the overall experience.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it's very important to look at the positives of what you did, because if you're always looking at the negative outcomes are going to happen.
Well, also like everybody's going to make mistakes in matches. Everybody's going to have their bad dates or their a couple bad stages. So just keep your head high and know that like you're still going to do good as long as you just stay consistent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pull away wins, hitting those reloads in the skinny little mag well. That looks like a nightmare.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you both work with a lot of sponsors, and again, junior shooters I think are just fantastic because they do bring a lot to the sport and the next generation. But how'd you come to work with the companies that you work with right now?
They were actually just building relationships from using their products from before. So like take Cajun Gunworks, for example. Cajun Gunworks, we were using their parts for 4 years before we started working with them.
Wow. We were tagging
them on Instagram, promoting their products, but like most importantly, we went and visited their shop and just got to know the people in general.
Yeah. And
got to know what we were dealing with. And we were like, hey, we would like to support you guys and promote all of your products.
Awesome.
They were like, well, that would be awesome.
Just keep doing what y'all, and we've asked them like, oh, can we do more? And they're like, just do what you're doing now. Stay humble and treat people nicely, and they'll treat you well. They'll treat you very well.
And your sponsors, I'm assuming this is true. Like they don't care about the winning necessarily. They care about
your character.
Yeah.
The character is very important.
Do you think resetting stages brings out the character in people?
It does. Somewhat, yes.
And the competition itself too, right?
It does. True. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I would say so, yes.
So what are some things that shooters, how about shooters, can do better on social media for those companies that support, the shooting sports? How can we as a collective unit maybe do better for those companies that are really giving back?
To be honest, I don't think there's really much to improve on. So I would say just keep posting match videos. You don't necessarily have to tag companies.
People are going to
keep posting match videos, and people are going to see those match videos and they're going to be like, oh, I want to get into this. What kind of products do I need? And they're going to ask you questions.
Yeah.
And they're going to see the banners in the background of your videos and stuff. So it's promoting itself just by posting your match videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. What questions do y'all get in your inbox?
On occasion we get like, what kind of guns we're using, what kind of holsters, mag pouches, but nothing super crazy.
It's usually gear related questions.
Gotcha. Not ever like mindset or drills or.
Not really, not that much.
It's mostly
like I may have been sent a couple videos to like coach someone like twice, but that's about it.
Gotcha. Real quick too, on the end of this, I want to talk about your mental mindset. Again, adults probably bring too much into it a lot of times because they've got other stuff on their minds. Not that you're not adults, but how do you go into a match, have fun, knock it down on yourself, and especially like when you have those 3-day matches and maybe the first day doesn't go as well, how do you just clear that out of your mind and like go into the next day?
Just try and be positive, try and put positive things in your mind. Like think about what you did in training before then, what the positive things you did that day or before then, and try and remind yourself of what you did. And so try to have a mental reset at that point.
Yeah. Do you have to tell each other to do that too?
Sometimes yes. So
it's like chill
sometimes
out.
if I feel like I'm not confident on something that's in a match,
yeah,
and I know I have a video on my phone of me doing it well in practice, I go and watch that video and it reminds me of what the sensations and stuff I was feeling in my hands and my body, what I was thinking about.
That's amazing. I've never thought to do that.
It's really helpful, to be honest.
Oh my goodness. I like it. Do y'all read any books or watch any videos like regularly to improve?
We've read some of Ben's books, and we are on a practical shooting training group. It's Ben Honsick and I think Joel Park. They do a great job of teaching people and putting up great content about how to get better in shooting. That's really what we do is practical shooting.
We've read Laney Basham's
With Winning in Mind. Yeah.
I've also read Troy Basham's Attainment.
Okay, that's a new one.
It's a pretty good book, actually. It's not a very big one.
Yeah.
But it's Troy Basham's way of basically teaching what his dad teaches.
Gotcha. That's interesting. So on your groups too, do you have like, I don't know, people assessing your videos or like what you're doing? Or have you ever had people that
practical shooting training group? They do have breakdown instructors to break down your videos, like Ben, Joel, and Honsick. They have 3 levels, I think it is, bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze level, you can just watch all the like instructional videos. Silver, it's 1 video a month for like Ben, Joel, and Honsick to break down your stuff. The higher level you're with Ben and Honsick, and I think the lower level you're with Joel Park.
Yeah.
And then with the gold, you have 4. Every week you post 1 video on there, and they'll critique it and they'll ask you questions like what are your hits like? What did you feel on this stage? What are you doing here? Like they help out a lot. It's basically it's almost like taking a class. Like Ben, like Joel, they've got it going on. They're doing really great.
So the annual fee for gold is $1,000, right? You get 4 videos to be instructed on every single month.
Yeah. 48 videos.
Very beneficial.
Yeah, all that stuff. Math
They
is
do a great job.
I giggled because of you said breaking down the target scores and stuff because people just do it for the gram. So it looks really cool on video, really fast raw time. And I cannot tell people enough that social media is garbage. Like
Yeah,
Exactly.
you need to take that same phone, keep videoing. Yeah, every target.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
Oh,
Whenever I post videos, usually in the back of my mind, I know what I did on that video. So like something about me, I can't post those. I'm like, I know what happened here.
Yeah.
This is not what the video looked like. So like sometimes I'll shoot a match and I'll be like, none of these are good enough. I want something that like has good hits. Like if you see anything, you're gonna see like 2 out of like all the targets or something. Those are the types of videos I like to post. I don't like to post the ones that like went 0-0 the stage, but it looks great on the channel.
I know it kills me. I'm like, really? Someone did that today, and I had to joke with him because he's a GM. And I was like, "What about that no shoot you shot on my stage?" He's like, "It's not on the video." I'm like, "Mm-hmm." Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
Right? Like, go look up that hit factor now. So
look at practice score on that video you posted. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You can look up anybody's crap to see what that looked like.
Exactly.
All right, guys. So, what are each of your biggest dreams in life to achieve with shooting sports or in the firearms industry? What's your big dream?
So the biggest dream for me would be for me to get enough support to where my shooting basically provides for itself.
Mm-hmm.
That way I won't have to take out of my pocket to put into shooting. I can just basically shoot to shoot.
Yes, I agree with that one. That's pretty good. That's our goal in shooting for sure.
So you both are going to stick with it.
Yes.
We're going to stick with it as long as we can.
That's so cool. I love it. Any final nuggets you want to leave folks with?
I would say just like I said before, keep an open mind, learn as much as you can. Just don't stop learning. That is the biggest thing. Just always stay learning, because if you're not learning, it's going to get boring really, really fast. You're going to burn
Enjoy
out.
it. Yep, enjoy it. Don't stress yourself out whenever you're like hitting lows or like a plateau. Just keep pushing through it.
Yeah.
You'll get through it.
You guys are so smart for 17, 18-year-olds. I can't even tell you. And that speaks a lot to the shooting community too, right? Because I'm sure it's grown you. It's taught you all of this. Like, right. I'm fascinated. Oh my goodness.
And being homeschooled as well, we don't really hang out with our young friends very much. It's just like we're always around adults, so we were able to mature pretty quickly.
Yeah, you got to stop calling me ma'am. I'm just kidding.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh man, but it is like people are like, you hang out with 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. I'm like, yeah, they're my friends. They shoot with. I don't know. Age doesn't matter at that point because we are a community and it's a lot of fun.
Well, they're teaching us stuff. You're learning something. You're learning stuff from these people.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you're learning wisdom from them too. Like,
you're also smarter than those people. Love it. So, okay, wrapping this up, and take your time on this if you want. Are there any shout outs you want to give to sponsors that you have? And then can you leave people with your social media handles so people know where to find you to ask questions?
I would say we'd like to thank Cajun Gun Works, Bin Stick Pro Shop, Hunters HD Gold, and Steel Target Paint. Those are some really good people that have supported us basically since the very beginning. And my social media handle for Instagram is Bryce_Dupuy.
and mine would be Dupuy0Blayne.
Awesome. I love it, guys. Thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for dropping all those knowledges.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll have you back, after you achieve your goals in probably 6 months. So try to share again on an update.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3 Gun Kenzie.